Yeah. Yeah. The second half, the second half was more fun. Um, I, I'm really, um, I'm really proud of the team that they came out of the locker room to play in the second half. Kind of disappointed and not at all happy with the team that came out to start the game. So we gotta figure out what the difference is between those two teams, um, and how we can hold them to less points in the second half than they scored in the first quarter. Um, so, you know, a lot of a lot of great things to be proud of that second half that we can build on. Um, you know, obviously we played a really good team that shot the ball really, really well in the first half and gave themselves that big cushion. Um, so you know, obviously they got a little bit of everything that they can throw at you, and we just have to get better. You know, we have to get better at some of the things that we need to get better because we don't look like them, so we can't necessarily just do things. You know, we got to do them right, and we got to execute better. I thought the execution part in the first half was just as bad as I've seen in a few years here at Connecticut. So it's not that we can't, because we spend 20 minutes doing it. Um, you know, if you look at the stats, you can't really pick anything apart. You know, but I don't know that the stats tell the whole story. But again, we were tied with 2:40 or something like that left in the game, and you know we had a chance, and we didn't win.
To have two bona fide stars, like with Kane and Juju going at it in a game where it's sold out arena, it's on prime time. I mean, this kind of shows the growth of women's basketball. What is that like to watch it? I mean, we all watch it too, but to see it.
It's obviously a moment that has happened a lot in this building. It's just that not as many people were paying attention, you know, outside the building. So I'm happy that we can put two players like that on the floor that the whole country's familiar with and um, wants to see, you know, play well, and they both have their unique styles of playing. Um, and as I was driving in today to the game, um, it brought back to me the very first game we played here. Might have been 86 or 87, I don't even know. It was a doubleheader. We played like at 5 p.m. and the men were going to play at maybe 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I don't remember. Or maybe we even played at 4:30, I don't know. And I don't think there were 100 people in the building. I don't. And to drive up here and know that there was going to be 16,000 people here, plus the game on national television, it doesn't seem like that, you know, we're talking about the same universe. But this is what's happened, and this is where we are today, um, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
But the second half, it seems like you guys did a lot better job doubling Juju and keeping them on the floor. What do you like about the defense then, and how different was it this defense?
Yeah, I think anytime, you know, you have somebody that you're trying to limit, trying to minimize how many opportunities they get, you're going to have to give up something else, you know. And the decisions that we make sometimes backfire, but the other team has to make it backfire, which means that all the people that we're helping off of, they're going to get opportunities, and they have to make shots. But you can't get upset at your team for that, because that's what you wanted to do. The dilemma comes when they start making shots, and the guy you're trying to limit is still getting shots off, you know. So credit to them, because they took advantage of, you know, what we wanted to do. We changed it up a little bit in the second half, and obviously it worked much better, you know.
Maggie and Roger, so after the Notre Dame loss, the run the biggest reasons was a lack of contribution from everyone else. How did you feel everybody, especially your guards, contributed today who weren't starters?
Well, it's funny because I said the same thing, and you know, you look at their two best players had 25 and 16. Ours had 22 and 22, and then their guys had 6, 9, 5, 6, 5, and our guys had 9, 5, 5, 5, 2. Not that big a difference, right? But in order for us to win, generally speaking, you know, it's when do you make them, and it's also how many ways do you have to score. They could score inside on us today, which we understand that. But they made threes they don't make, so that ends up being the margin in the end, because we shot more free throws. We made more free throws than them. But in these games, if we don't make more threes than the other team, it's going to be really hard for us to win. Really hard.
You know, two things. You said, first of all, you saw a lot of great things in the second half. What were those great things? And then Sarah, a lot of people look at this game and remember that she missed free throws at the end, but the overall performance she had tonight really seemed like she matured.
Well, she's always been mature, and she's always had that game. And I think she's devastated at the second free throw. The third one she missed on purpose, so that doesn't matter. But the second one's the one that bothers her. But just the fact that that's where she was at that moment in a game like this, and how she plays and how she performs, and the fact that we go to her in big moments, that says a lot of what I think of her. What we did in the second half we ran some stuff that we actually practiced. Like, we didn't make up an offense and then run out there and try to run it. Like, in the second half, the ball moved, people moved, we got the shots we wanted, we got shots from where we wanted to get them, by who we wanted to get them, and as I said, the entire first half, there was none of that, zero. I mean, when I say you're exaggerating, no, I mean, there's zero of that. The first half was just a mishmash of, and the average person would say, well, why is that? Well, I'm an average person too, and I would say, yeah, why is that?
Emily and Daniel, it seemed like KK really kind of powered that comeback for you guys in the third quarter. Can you speak a little bit to her impact defensively, and then what led you to move away from her in the fourth?
If you're struggling on the defensive end like we were, I do think you got to change up the way the game's being played, and we've talked to KK a lot about that. That one of her biggest roles should be to come in and disrupt the game and change the way the game is played, and I thought she did that, and we did it as a team, but she has the physical ability to do a lot more, and today she did. That leads to her getting some opportunities, and obviously it led to us getting a lot of opportunities.
You've been
Yeah.
what your team is. So now that we're here, where do you feel your team is?
Well, if you look at our first half team, we're nowhere. If you look at our second half team, we're a really, really good basketball team that can probably beat anybody in the country. So I lied. I don't know any more now than I did when I told you that I would know before Christmas. But obviously certain things are evident, right? You know, we have to get more contributions from our bigs. We have to continue to work on, you know, our younger guys not getting like this, you know, when it gets, like when shots aren't falling right away, to stay patient. But all in all, it's if I just focus on the first half, then I would be really disappointed going into the holidays. But if I take it as half of that and then the other half, I really, really think can help us win any game that we play. But we just can't put ourselves in holes like that. So I know we're going to fight. I just don't want to wait until we're bloodied and half beaten up before we start fighting.
Chris Butler, Washington Post. What was your impression of Kiki Urielson and the challenges that she presented today?
Same as, very similar to when she was at Stanford, you know, and similar to when she was in high school. There's a limit on what you can do because she's so quick and so powerful. So if we can keep her, we thought if we could keep her outside the lane and make her take shots without getting 2 feet in the lane, that would be to our advantage, and she made a bunch of those. So now all of a sudden you have to come out a little bit, and now her quickness starts to become a factor. And then she's matched up a lot in the second half against one of her, you know, Sarah's a freshman, and I think she showed her experience and how to, you know, how to get position and how to get the shots you want. And there's nothing that she did today that surprised me, because I've always had so much respect for her as a player. But her strength and her quickness, and if she starts making that open 15, 16-footer, then it's lights out.
Geno, two kind of maybe related questions. First, another game where you guys couldn't really hit any shots from three. It's kind of happened in some of these bigger games too. So I mean, is that just a matter of you guys are hoping Daisy can help with that when she's fully back, or how can you?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, right? How do you learn to make these in these games? And as I said, how many we get tonight? 20, 24? 6 for 23. That's on 62 shots. That's about the ratio that we want. But I don't know that, I want to see how many of them were like great and how many of them were like mediocre. So if we continue to get great ones, I mean, I think we're a good three-point shooting team, but I can't keep saying that. We have to prove it, and not just one night. You know, we got to do it more than one night. So, then, what else?
You went to the Chelly Sarah lineup.
Yeah.
Second half. You're also saying you hope that your bigs, the other bigs, can
Yeah.
contribute more. So
Yeah.
how are you going to balance, you know?
Yeah,
big
that's
contributions from them
that's
versus-
another one. Yeah, I always believe in people that I think that they can do what we need them to do, and we've said that we're going to be the team that we want to be if we're getting contributions from those guys. What does that mean? Well, they have to be able to make a 15-footer. they've got to be able to keep the ball out of the lane. So if we're playing 5 against 4 because we can't get any offense out of them, and we need offense, so it's tough to play them, you know. So I hope that we can continue. I mean, I know they're both young, and I know Jen is a freshman, but if we can find a way to get some consistency where we feel comfortable throwing the ball in the lane and we think you can get a basket, then that takes a lot of pressure off of our guards. Right now, there's too much pressure on them. So I got to figure that one out. That's on me and the coaching staff.
Just going back to Sarah, what was your message to her post-game? Was it what you just kind of told us a few minutes ago, or do you wait to kind of discuss the kind of late game moment and how to move forward?
Yeah. I mean, when I see these things, I see a kid that, you know, some people run from the flame, you know, and other kids run to it. She wants to be in that situation. She relishes that situation. Nobody's more disappointed than she is right now in that moment. But I would put her in that moment every single game for the rest of the season and have confidence that, you know, she's going to come through. So, yeah, this is not something that is going to sit well with Sarah, but hopefully only for a day or two.
Can you just talk about Juju and kind of how she stacks up against, you know, other elite players in the country now, but also just kind of in all of your career where she stands in terms of like top talent you've seen?
You know, obviously I don't see her enough, you know. We played them twice now. But every scouting report that you put together or every film that you watch, it's very evident that one player can't guard her, you know. You have to hope she helps you. You have to hope she misses. And when she gets a little bit of a rhythm, like she got in that first half, it's really, really difficult to, like any good player, and she's certainly, you know, a tremendous, tremendous guard. So, yeah, there's qualities that she has that are just unique. You know, there haven't been many, you know, at a young age but, you know, you would probably have to ask somebody that's younger than me. I've probably seen too many. More than I care to.
You know, she played a few minutes, but just what did Easy bring tonight? And going forward, is she progressing where you be after Christmas?
I don't know. I think AZ's obviously a high-level elite player, and I do believe that when we get her 100% healthy and ready to go, that certainly enhances our team tremendously. Not having played and maybe a couple practices, yeah, I love to have her out there. I just choose not to today, for whatever reason.
Anything else?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear, that game was not won or lost with those 3 free throws. Sarah was a huge reason we were a huge part of that second half comeback and the reason we were even in the game. But for her to continue to show up on this stage and continue to play as well as she has, continue to affect the game in so many different ways, whether it be rebounding, defending, assisting, scoring. But yeah, I don't want people to get the wrong impression of that she didn't impact this game tremendously in a very positive way. And those games was not decided in the last minute with those free throws.
Paige, what did you think was the biggest difference between the first half and the second half, particularly on the offensive end?
On the offensive end, I thought our defense was better, so it led us to get more into transition offense and get easier buckets that way. But I think also just moving from side to side, getting more movement, off-ball movement, better screening, and just more in attack mode than backpedal mode.
Paige, big picture, I mean, this game was great for women's basketball, having two great teams, great players playing in a tight game. How important is it for the sport to have games like this on national television, prime time on a Saturday night?
Yeah, it's very important. Just for the game to continue to grow, to have these type of matchups, and for people to not shy away from it or be afraid of it, but actually to embrace it and schedule more opponents like these, schedule more home and homes, just having more showcases and games like this to continue to grow the game.
Sarah, can you just talk about how you're feeling? Obviously, you have to be proud of your effort. Is it hard, though, to flesh out the end there?
I mean, I'm just kind of, it hurts to lose. Definitely don't like losing. I don't know. I'm just kind of upset right now at, the game and the way it ended. That's pretty much it.
Paige, this game versus the Elite Eight seemed a lot more one-on-one when you and Juju get in battle against each other. It seemed at the end both of you were pretty exhausted. What was that matchup like for you? Was it fun just getting a chance to compete like that against someone in such caliber as you?
Yeah, definitely. Playing against great players, you embrace the matchup. You have fun in the moment. Both teams are trying to win. But yeah, matchups like these are why we play basketball. And so, yeah.
Paige, how do you look at your team's goals for the past 2 weeks? So it started with the Louisville game, ending here. What do you take away from this stretch?
That when we're really good, we're really good. And when we're not, we're not. And like Coach was saying, we can't have two teams that show up every single night, whether it be our first half team or a second half team. We have to remain consistent in who we are and what gets us to winning. So, take this Christmas break, get rejuvenated, get in the right mindset to make sure that the right team is returning home or returning back to school from Christmas.
In the second half, when you guys were making the run, it felt like KK was a big spark off the bench for you guys. Can you just talk about what she brought to the board?
Yeah, that's her role, and that's what she does for us. She brings us a different intensity off the bench, a different spark off the bench. And again, you saw it defensively, but just the way she pushes out in transition, gets easy baskets for us. But the game turned around when she got in the game with her ball pressure, with her getting in passing lanes, defensive intensity. So she was a person that sparked that second half run.
Paige, you played in so many big games and electric atmospheres. What was the vibe and tonight felt like?
It was a great atmosphere, great environment. Love playing at home, a whiteout, so that was cool in itself. I wish we played better in the first half to get them more engaged and just start that way. To have the fans more on our side to start the game and get more momentum that way, but definitely felt it more in the second half.
Sarah, how do you feel that you grew or will grow from this experience being in
I'm excited. I mean, biggest part is trying to bounce back from what happened tonight and just come back stronger.
Anybody else?
Sarah, coach says you're kind of the player, some will run from the fire, you'll run into the fire. You always been that way, like these moments don't really seem to faze you.
I just try not to let it get to me. I just keep playing and just focusing on what my team needs me to do.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you one over here. You can please feel free to talk to the room. But I want to ask you directly to just lifting Sarah up, being there for her. We're sitting here talking about this, but you came right to her defense, and I know this team did. So just like, what do you want to tell us about Sarah?
She's a team player. She'll do anything it takes for the team to win, like she said. Fills every single stat in the stat sheet. Is very selfless. She could score anytime she wanted to. She could go one-on-one anytime she wanted to, but she plays a team game, loves her teammates, plays the right way. And like I said, she contributes a lot to winning. And so I think that should be the story that's written.
All right, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you.